Hi, it's Tina Stitches. This is a channel about cross stitch. Today is Sunday, August 15th. It is about 6 in the evening, so getting a little late for this. It is, 6:30. Been a long day. We had to do some shopping elsewhere. The boys are getting some supplies for their houses. Yes. Things like kitchen faucets, shower faucets, things that have been wear and tear when they got them. So they need to be replaced. So took them into a store where you can get them good prices for name brands. So that's what we went and did today. There was also a scheduled power outage, so we had to kill time out of town anyway, so took the hour-long drive to go look at taps. There is no stitchy store. There is no cross-stitch stores in the area, but when I was going through Walmart, they actually had DMC in this Walmart. They never had it before. They used to have Anchor, but I stopped using Anchor a long time ago. So anyways, just want to say thank you for stopping in. Welcome if you're new. I hope you like what you see. I do stitch on a variety of things, but not, I don't think what I'm stitching on is considered really mainstream. I do a couple of samplers, but I'm not a huge sampler person. Like I've done a couple of blackbird designs. Yeah. I haven't done any of the chalkboard series. I don't think I've done any heart in hand, is it? I don't know. Anyways, Mirabilia, Heaven and Earth, Victoria Sampler, Just Nan, Sweetheart Tree, those are my jam. And I've also become quite a fan of Owl Forest Embroidery. So, yeah. I think it's been 2 weeks since my last video, so there's a couple of projects to show you. And one lonely little piece of haul. And I did do some of the monthly magazine challenge, the cross stick and the theme. I'll show you those. I also want to show you, I don't know if this is going to turn up too well, but remember, if you've been with me for a while, I've been doing the sampler, the letters to Gigi by GGR Reproduction. And Janine is also stitching a sampler from that series as well. She is doing the letter S, and I've been forgetting to show you her progress. So I just thought I better show you before I forget to do it again. And this is an older picture, so Janine, I need a new picture. But here is her progress on S. And she's stitching, and sorry for the glare, but she is stitching on 40 count linen with navy blue thread. One strand over one. Yeah, so that's what the S top corner looks like. It's very lovely, and all of these GGR letters to Gigi, they're all beautiful samplers. But they're apparently kind of hard to get. And if you look up the T, the one that I'm doing, you can't see the picture. It just shows up as big blurs because it's tone on tone. So I just bought mine based on, well, those other ones are really pretty, so the T has to be pretty too. So, yeah. It is a very warm day today, and I'm in the sunroom, which is actually one of the warmest rooms in the house. But other rooms are occupied. Yeah. Oldest son is still living here. He has the next week off, and hopefully he'll be over at his place preparing that for moving in. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, we could have been doing stuff over there today, but anyways. So, yeah, it has been so hot here and so dry this summer. I think we've only had 2 good rains. And north of me, there are communities that have been evacuated because of forest fire and forest fire risk. There's been 3 big fires near one community, and it was almost evacuated. Another community there was 3 communities evacuated because of fires near them. All right, Squeaky, come on. Good girl. Okay. So, any rain right now is a good thing, and we did have, last week was pretty gray and drizzly, but I don't think we're out of the red zone right now. Squeaky. No. So anyways, I'm enjoying the weather. I don't have any, there's no more smoke in the air. So that's really good, because getting up every day and smelling that smoke was not fun. Nowadays with technology though, you can look it up and say, okay, is that anywhere near me? And be comforted that it's so many hundreds of miles away, but you know, that can always change. There was a small fire started by lightning about a mile out of town, but they had immediately got to it and kept it there. You wouldn't even know there was a fire there. They got it right away. So anyways, I should probably show you my whips, because that's what you're here to see. I got whips, and I have no finishes, but I did frame something myself just like an hour ago. So I just threw it in a frame that I got at Walmart. So I'll show you that, a little tiny piece of haul, and I would show you my plans, but I didn't bring my pieces in here. And you know how I am. Sweetie, stitch what I want when I want. That is a term I believe Jessie Marie Dusdiff has come up with. So I should just show you whatever's in front here. That's all, so that's later. This is Owl Forest Embroidery. This is the Alice in Wonderland Mystery Sal, and I am on part 6. It's almost finished. And there are now 9 parts out. So I'm 3 parts behind. The 9th part just came out Friday, so. But if I can stitch on it, so what I need to do is I need to sit down on my lunch breaks and say, take a break. It's time to just relax and stitch. Don't worry about what they're doing out there. And maybe I'd get this done a lot faster. I can't insert pictures of where I was because of computer problems, which I did have a look at today, but I had my son there and he was like, no, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. So I did not come home with a laptop. It's probably a good thing. So this is still in the Q-snap, and I worked on this yesterday also, all weekend actually. This is part 6, and I don't think I had any of this done except for maybe the heart. Just take this off. Maybe the heart was done, but I know this was not finished. The sock and the shoe is new. The waves and the Alice and the giant mouse is new. And yesterday I was in a Zoom with Sarah and Kim and Candy and Julie and a few other people, and this is what I worked on while we were Zooming, and I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. That reminds me, I forgot something. But anyways, so while we were Zooming, I was just working on the blue shoe. Just filling that in. And today in the car, I did this purple bit. And I know the pattern calls for it to be this color on the bottom part and the orangish color to be on the top, but to me that was backwards from the way I would see a cookie or a cake. I would see the brown orange part on the bottom and the frosting, the purpley blue whatever, on the top. So I changed it to match what I think the cake should be. That this is supposed to be the cake that says "Eat me" on top. So that's where that's at. I am stitching this in my own conversion to overdyes based on Owl Forest's DMC selection, and because I did not write down the symbols, the colors, or any of that when I was sorting them, they ended up getting a little bit mixed up. So these are the colors, and I believe that in some spots I used this color when it was actually supposed to be the darker color. But whatever. And the bling, the thread bling, is from Vicky at Stitch and Button. Heather was also in that meeting, and I'm going to be talking to her later about some stuff. So there's no picture for that because it's a mystery sale. It is stitched on 32 count raw, I believe it's raw linen that I had in my stash, so it might not be actually raw. It could be something else. .32 count natural brown linen. This is my next project. Now this one, okay, so for the monthly magazine challenge, there's the acrostic and there's the theme. The theme for August is birds because it's Robin's birthday month and she likes birds. So bird is the theme. The theme has to be something in a magazine. It can be a new start or a current whip. Something that you're stitching on or something you want to stitch on, start it or continue to work on it, as long as it has bird as a theme. Now, you can go way out of left field and just say, well, my fabric is peacock color, or phoenix is one of the colors. Phoenix is a bird, therefore I'm stitching on this project because the fabric is phoenix. So you can make it work. What I tend to do is I tend to look at the theme and my whips that are magazine projects already and see which one fits that category best. And I have I think there's just 2 projects right now that are from a magazine. So it's one or the other. And for birds, well, Strawberries doesn't have any birds in it. By Jeanette Douglas. It's a sampler. There's just strawberries and specialty stitches. Maybe if one of the specialty stitches had a bird name, like peacock eye. It's just, that's not a real stitch. Then you could say, well, this is a peacock eye stitch and I'm working on this. So anyways, I'm not working on Strawberry Sampler by Jeanette Douglas. It's in timeout right now. Instead, I'm working on the Welcome Sampler by Teresa Wentzler because there are swans here. So that's what I'm working on. I can't show you where it was before, but before, so I started in the middle, I worked my way over to this corner of this picture scene and then filling in back. So some of this was done, but not fully filled in because I didn't have the colors on my thread card. Teresa Wentzler has a lot of blends. So a chart that would have, well, there are 35 colors of DMC, but there's probably 80 symbols because there's so many blends. Blend is taking one strand of one color and one strand of another and stitching those two together. So the way I find the easiest for me to cope with that is to have all of my threads cut same length, and if I have an end that is not the same length, I'll use this as an example. So there is one strand on here that is longer, so I will just use that when it's just that simple. Fold it over, 2 strands, done. But for the when it's a blend, I will pull it from the center, the bulky part, and blend it. Makes sense to me. And here is where I'm at. Just trying to get all of the threads out of the way because I'm kind of parking on this one. And here's where it's at. So there was a lot of spaces open, and so I filled in and brought those threads down. And I also brought that border over a little bit. All the purple down here is new. And yeah, there was pinks and purples up here. Then this is stitched on 28 count. Probably mushroom Lugana from my stash. It's what I had. It was the right size. It worked. That's good. So I also used those for the acrostic, which this month was sunflower, and I used welcome for W and S, welcome, and swans, and I used the owl forest for F and O in flower, part of sunflower. So I still need U, N, L, E, R, and I know I have those planned out, and actually I was thinking I can mark off N because this project here is a Mirabilia, and Mirabilia is a Nora Corbett artwork. Nora Corbett is the designer behind Mirabilia and Nora Corbett. Nora Corbett's are a smaller version. Mirabilia's are the huge versions. And this one, because it's August, it's my sister's birthday, and this one I started in May. Because when I see this one, I think of my sister. So it's her birthday month, so I'm going to work on this. Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it properly. This is being stitched on 32 count Dawn Belfast linen by Picture This Plus. It's a very dark linen. It's kind of hard to find the holes. It's a very tight weave because it's dyed and it's Picture This Plus, but I really like the color combination. Yeah. When you last saw it, all that was done was this portion here, So all of this here is new. And it is darker than what you see. Like the fabric is a lot darker than how it's showing up. But I think it's turning out very nice. I really like that. So I think I could use that for N, for Nora Corbett. Because I did write Nora Corbett down. I just didn't write it down in my... I didn't go on to the magazine challenge and post before and after pictures for that one. Or for the welcome. So I'm pretty sure I took a before picture, but I definitely did not post I didn't post an after picture. So the next project to show you and this is my daily stitch. I stitch on this every day before I go to work. And this is Beloved. Artwork by Adele Sessler, charted by Heaven and Earth. And I am, how far am I? .47% finished. So you see the page breaks. That's all I have left to do. And that's all that's left before page finish. About, I don't know, 2,000 stitches, and then I can say those 3 pages are finished. I might be able to have that done by the next video if I really focus on it. I find the best way for me to work on this in the mornings is pick one color and just stitch that block of colors. And I can get about 180 stitches a day on a 25 to 30 minute interval before I go to work. If I'm just doing a block of color. If there's confetti and there's a lot of stitch one stitch here, another stitch here, another stitch here, end it, that takes a lot more time. So I tend to leave that kind of stitching for the weekend. So you saw the mock-up, but here's the real thing. I don't know what you can see. There we go. So yeah, stand up here. So I worked over here mostly, making these pages finished. I'm working my way over, completing these rows, and then I will come over here and work my way down, and then this whole set of pages will be finished. This one is stitched on 25 count even weave by Zweigart. I want to say, isn't that what the orange line means? And this one I did have a discussion about when it was started, because I thought in Zoom I said 2017, and I think Heather corrected me to say it was 2015. But I do have it written down here. 2016. Boom. So that's when it was started, August 13th, 2016. Today, 2 days ago, was its 5-year anniversary. I can hear somebody walking by. So, that is all of my whips. Now, the neighbor is dumping his scraps on our side of the road. Anyways, there was something else that I was going to share, and I'm going to go grab it and be right back. Okay, so there's 2 things that I wanted to share. One of them is a fully finished. I brought a frame home from Walmart, so Squeaky, no. No. It is pretty warm in here. All right, go on. I just hope she doesn't start scratching from the other side. And I hope you don't hear the seagulls because of the scraps. So, this is Nora Corbett's Sunflower Fairy. I stitched this as part of the monthly magazine challenge, and I did make a couple of conversions. I mean, this is a full conversion. This is called to be stitched with Valdani threads. The Valdanis are beautiful. I just didn't have them, and I wanted to start it right away. And so I pulled threads from my stash and I stitched it on 32 count raw Belfast linen and glare galore. But there's the finished project. And one of the main things that I changed, aside from, I used over-dyed threads. It stitched 1 thread over 2, and I did have the blue Krynic that was called for in the pattern. I don't have the pattern with me, but I stitched part of it, and I did not like the combination. And so I kept walking by this spool of thread and thinking that I think would go much better with this design. And it is Krynic number 4 braid in the color 713. And so that is what the wings are actually stitched in. And I'm not sure what the pattern called for, but the back stitching is also done in Krynic number 4 braid. The color is gunmetal, but I can't remember the number. And I also used Delica beads instead, in green, gold, and bronze. And also when I bead, for this one, I changed the directions that I was stitching for, especially around the edge of the dress, so that it would reflect differently. But of course, with the glass on it, you can't really see. But it's fully finished. It may or may not get reframed, but I'm happy to have that the way it is. So, the other thing that I was going to talk about is Sunflower September. Last year it was Sampler September. This year, apparently, it's Sunflower September. And this is, according to Candy, this is based off of Lori Holtz, who is a big fan of the Stitching Housewives Sunflower Flowers in a Jar Sunflower chalkboard series. And so that's why she's doing Sunflower September. Those aren't really my jam, but as soon as I heard somebody else say Sunflower September, I was like, oh, that's a good reason for me to start another project. Candy, God love her, she's telling me, don't you dare start another project. This is Sunflower Street Sampler by Victoria Sampler. So it actually fits Sampler and Sunflower for September. And in my categories of stitching, this is not huge. This is pretty small. It looks like it's big, but it's only 64 by 101. Apparently that's too big. I should not start it yet. But I asked if it was okay if I just do that bit. So I have permission from Candy to do that. And I might just do that because I have a piece of fabric. This is my haul. And this is 32 count sorry for the crinkle. 32 count Serenity Harbor Gray linen. And I also have the fabric it called for, which is 28 count ice blue cashel linen. That is really washed out. It is way bluer than that. And this is the number 8 pearl cotton that is used in that design. Now, one of the things that has stopped me from starting it right away is this blue linen. I'm not a fan of it because when I look at the front picture, it looks like it's stitched on white. But they use the blue pearl, and it is very tonal on the picture. But it's too bright of a blue for me. I honestly would like it much better on the gray, but you know, I'm saying but, and I'm also saying this is a small piece. So let me see how big I need. 11 by 13. How big is this? 8. 8 by 17. It wouldn't give me a lot of border. It would only give me 1.5 inch border. See, I like this color much better. This is 32 count, and they're basing it on 28 count as well. We'll see. But and this is something that I had posted this recently on a question on the Magazine Monthly Challenge, and I was asked if I bought the threads or will I be converting it, because I do quite a few conversions right now, and I'm looking at the thread list, and I do have quite a few of these threads already. I don't have all of them, but I did buy the thread pack. And the main reason for buying the thread pack is because of the silk ribbon. And I believe there's a couple of specialty buttons. Oh no, they're just beads. Cream, rainbow, and grass green. So, I have the threads, I have the fabric, I have a needle. I could do it. I think the biggest question would be, what fabric? That's September. That is 2 weeks away. I don't need another start in my life. I am a little bit overwhelmed with the whips I already have, but you only live once. So, we'll see. I enjoy working on all my patterns. I just regret not working on some of them more. I would like to pick them up more. And I keep writing things down, and then it's like I get so engrossed in one project. I focus on that one, and then the month is over and I haven't touched that other project. So yeah, that's my life. So, update on hubby. He is doing so much better. He is even to the point where he wants to start construction again. And it is like, no, you are not doing anything. You are making the boys do all that stuff. He wanted to bring a bookshelf up from the basement. My son and I started to bring it up. We had a slight snag because he had rebuilt the stairs. And there was the stairs, the step itself was wider than it used to be. So coming around this corner and trying to get up, that wasn't going to happen. We had to unassemble the bookcase to the point where the top part was off so that it would flex a little bit to get it around that corner because of that couple of inches. So yeah. And it's walking without the cane. He hasn't used the cane for almost a week. And he hasn't had to take any excessive painkillers. He has some extra Tylenol that he takes. But today he didn't have to take any until we were home, and it was, a lot of walking. So, yeah, pain. So, aside from that, he's back to pretty much normal, and we have to keep an eye on him to keep him from doing things that he's not supposed to be doing, like lifting stuff. So these next couple of weeks are going to be interesting because the sons need their taps replaced in the bathrooms, and he's going to have to show them how to do that. So it's going to be a interesting learning experience for them. And I won't be here to make sure he's not just doing it all himself, because he tends to do that. Anyways, I should get going. I'm pretty sure this is way longer than it should have been. And I need to edit it the very little that I can and get it uploaded to YouTube. And you may see a difference in the formatting in the next couple of weeks because I learned something the other day, yesterday, in the Zoom meeting about recording videos with Zoom. So, yeah. Anyways, I gotta get going. Put all this stuff away and chat with you another day. Happy stitching. Bye.